Hi everyone, welcome to another Schoolscape online webinar. The purpose of these webinars is to help transition your school online. And today, very fortunate to have Tim in studio with us from 2Simple. Tim, it's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you.
Brilliant. I'm really excited about this session, just specifically because I believe what 2Simple is offering in the market at the moment for schools is really incredibly valuable. So, Tim, we're going to jump in and I'm going to just ask you this first question straight out. What are the challenges that teachers are facing at the moment while...
Right, so obviously the biggest challenge that we can see is the kids that come to your schools are all from different backgrounds. They don't all have access to the same devices and connectivity and everything, you know, that some do. So that's a huge challenge on trying to get all the children to be on kind of the same level in what you're teaching them. So to have a unified kind of curriculum that's been sent out is really hard. We get that. Then also we are very cognizant about the overload on parents. So we know that it takes a long time to study and learn to be a really good teacher. So to put that kind of pressure on parents and for teachers to expect parents to do all the work is quite difficult. So we get that. And then the last thing is that I know that teachers put themselves under a lot of pressure, and the pressure that they put themselves under is actually quite dangerous. So I think that teachers need to be kind to themselves and realize that this is very different, and we don't expect you to know everything straight away. So that's a huge thing.
Yeah, Tim, I think what you've said is spot on. Sorry, I think mine went mute there. I'd just like to say, I think at the moment, a lot of our unsung heroes are the teachers. And I think what you've said is right. So I think there's a lot of pressure on them with what they're facing with teachers and schools that are viewing at the moment. Thank you. We appreciate everything you do. Also for the live viewers, you'll see on your right, there's a chat functionality. You can chat. Also, there is a questions tab. If you have any questions, please drop questions in. You can literally just ask them. What we're going to do is Tim and I are going to chat for 20 minutes, and then we're going to keep 10 minutes open at the end for any questions.
Cool.
Tim, next question for you, and I think maybe this is a good one to start with. Before we even dive into what you have to offer the teachers, any tips to help the teachers out there when it comes to teaching from home?
Yeah, definitely. And just to follow up from what I was saying now is, first of all, don't be hard on yourself. Like, really look after yourselves. Look after your own mental health. The kids need you. So for you to burn out at this stage would not be good at all. So really, really look after yourselves. And then I think my biggest tip would be that we need to remember that when we're in class, the hour or 45 minutes that we're teaching a lesson in class isn't 45 minutes straight of you speaking to the kids. So don't try and fill up a whole lesson talking and giving information all the time. You need to remember that a lot of that time is a lot of maybe wasted time, obviously. But just like it's communication between the kids and between you and the kids. So we got to try and keep that communication open with the tools that we have available. So that would mostly be it. And stick to a schedule, but don't stick to such a strict schedule that it freaks you out. That would be it.
Okay, Tim, let's move in then talking about your offering. How does 2Simple support home learning? And actually, why the name 2Simple?
Yeah, so 2Simple is literally because of what it is. It's 2Simple. Everything we do, we try and make incredibly easy and accessible for teachers and learners. Don't make the mistake to think that we're not an incredibly powerful platform in everything that we do. We just make it very user-friendly and very easy for teachers to jump on and do serious technology tasks.
Okay, cool. So how does 2Simple enable teachers working from home?
Cool. So the main platform that I'll talk about today is our program called Purple Mash. Purple Mash is a very well-known platform globally. And we do have a lot of other programs, but we're going to focus on Purple Mash now. Inside Purple Mash, it's a huge productivity tool for schools and for teachers. So we have a lot of content on the platform where we can use to teach topics and subjects, but we also have a lot of productivity tools where we can upload videos of ourselves talking to the kids. We can engage with kids through voice notes and comments and mark work. We have auto marking sessions or sections on our platforms. And we cover everything in the in your curriculum and in technology. So we don't want to leave out technology. Obviously, we're using technology more than ever now. So we want to cover all the technology at the same time as covering all of your subject areas. And we make that very accessible and easy for you on the platform.
Okay. So Tim, before I dive into that, just to understand actually how it works and how a teacher would work it, how many schools in the country are presently using the system?
So in South Africa, we have just over 160 schools using our Purple Mash platform. Sorry about that.
Don't worry, we're all working from home. We understand background noise.
Yeah. So 160 schools in South Africa using the Purple Mash platform, and globally we're on almost 8,000 schools using Purple Mash. So we service about 2 million learners at the moment.
2 million. Okay, brilliant. And actually, just another question before we dive into content. There's been a lot of messages going out that your content is free for the next 2 months. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, absolutely. We're giving free access to everyone until June. We came up with this offer a couple of weeks even before school shut down. We were watching trends globally, and we have offered this globally. So it's not just South Africa. Any school in any country in the world can access Purple Mash for free. Obviously, you just need to get in contact with us. We'll set up a full school portal for everyone. It's completely free. We promise you we won't use all of your data to harass you afterwards if you don't decide to carry on with the program. We really just are trying to help as much as we can. So
I think that's incredible. I think it's amazing that you're willing to allow a lot of teachers out there that are battling with resources and content just to be able to come on for 2 months. Let's dive into that then. Content-wise, what content does Purple Mash cover?
So we cover pretty much everything that you would do in your curriculum. Like I said, we're a productivity tool as much as we are content and tools platform. So when it comes to your curriculum, say we're talking about the CAPS curriculum, for example, we have the entire CAPS curriculum on the platform with links to all of the projects that you would do throughout CAPS. So when we talk about content, we talk about programs that would kind of, you would use our writing programs and our tools to enhance your classes. So the content is still being taught by the teacher. We do have quite a lot of, a little bit of content to do with every topic, but we still need the teacher to teach that topic to the kids. But we cover everything in CAPS and in other curriculums from around the world, which we would gladly open up for anyone if they need it. And we have about 10,000 supporting projects at the moment for different CAPS topics.
Okay, so maybe let's make this super practical. I've got a grade R kid at the moment, and I know you cover grade R. And presently what happens is in the morning, I get a PDF, which has what we need to do for the day. And then I know our teacher spent hours going and finding videos and resources and information, and then she collates it all. And I know it must take her absolutely hours just researching and finding it. So if she had to use Purple Mash, how would it work? How would she do it? How would it save her time?
Great. So if we're talking about grade R specifically, we do have a section of Purple Mash called Mini Mash, which is you just click through Purple Mash to get to Mini Mash. And Mini Mash is for your preschools and up to grade R. It's a completely different interface that looks a lot easier for kids to use. And inside Mini Mash, we use trays. So the same way that you would use trays in the classroom to put your work in, we have trays on Mini Mash where teachers could put work into those trays. So a nice new feature of Purple Mash is that you can now also upload external documents onto our platform. So if, for example, I wanted to now record myself talking to you and give a little lesson, so we're doing a lesson on autumn, I'm going to tell you about what autumn is. I'm going to take that video and I'm going to put it into the tray, and I'm going to put all of the resources that I found, if they're Word documents or PowerPoint presentations, I'll put that into a tray that'll be pinned so it's easy for a child to find, and everything is just in one contained area. And then we also have, like I said, our projects that are made by our education specialists that are on Purple Mash. So if we're talking about grade R, for example, we would have a painting project about autumn. So that would go in with all that information into that tray. And that painting project would be for a grade R to paint an autumn scene using things like leaves, and instead of just straight plain colors. Would make it a lot more interesting. It would be very similar if we take it to the Purple Mash side. So you could do the same kind of thing with like a grade 7, 8, 9 class, where a teacher could upload a video of themselves giving the lesson. There's a couple of ways that we would use that with blogging and email within our portal. And then we would obviously attach the work that's inside Purple Mash to that little learning area. So nothing actually leaves the Purple Mash platform. Everything is in one place that can be monitored and marked and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So Tim, to confirm, I'm grade R autumn. I then, as a teacher, can record a little video, and then I can literally go onto Purple Mash and look for projects, resources. So I can load my own, but there am I correct in saying there's also a whole pile of resources that I could just search? I could search grade R autumn and find those to add to that tray.
Absolutely. We have, I'd have to say, we have almost everything that you would do on Purple Mash. Everything is categorized in the topic section. You can also go just use the search bar, say search autumn, and it'll give you everything in the whole of the program that has to do with autumn. And then, like I said, you could upload your own stuff. But we have over 10,000 topic-based activities. So that's a lot, and you probably won't run out of things to do. And we have now 9,000 printable PDFs. So if you don't want to do everything online, you can print everything offline and basically have worksheets offline. So, and we're growing the program all the time. So if there's something, say for example, you're doing the Khoisan. I use this as an example because I've used it because we don't have it and I still haven't made it, but no one's asked for it yet. So if you want to do the Khoisan, you can adapt one of our pre-existing projects and set that as a task for your kids, or you can request it from us and we'll make that project to be available for everyone in the world on Purple Mash. That's how the program grows, basically.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible. I think what really stands out to me is, Tim, that you literally can save a teacher hours, especially in this environment where it's remote learning and a teacher has to go find their content. They can now go to one place and find trusted content that's built and designed by experts for the right grade, put it together. They can still shoot their own video and put it out there. One of the, sorry, go Tim.
So I was just, I thought I'd quickly mention one other thing. We also have a resource sharing area for teachers where teachers can share resources globally. So if you've got a teacher, just say, for example, in Joburg, that's doing the same topic that someone's doing in Cape Town and they know each other, they can put their resources onto the sharing area. They'll label it with their name so they get full credit of what they've done, but they're growing our platform as well as sharing the content with everyone in the world, which is very cool.
Okay.
It's never stagnant, it stays the same.
Brilliant. Tim, let's just talk kind of the role a teacher would play. I'm a teacher. I'm viewing this at the moment. I'm like, brilliant. I really love this idea. How would they set it up? Is it hours of training and setup? What would they need to do to roll this out to their class?
So it's incredibly easy. I mean, it's 2Simple as always. You would just contact us, give us the name of your school, one person's email address that we can set up the portal through as an admin. We set up your school's portal, so every school gets their own portal. Then we just go through a short process of adding the teachers and the learners to it, so everyone gets their own unique access to the program. And then the next step was we would obviously encourage you having just a short training session, and we can show you what's available and how to use it. It's a really quick, easy process. I mean, we could get you going in the next 2 hours, you personally.
Oh, really?
You want to
right. Okay. And Tim, is this something, say, a principal is now watching? Could he or she roll it out to their whole school? Or is it something also a teacher could get permission just to roll it out for their class? Does it need to be school-wide, or can it be very specific to one class?
It can be very specific. And we have I don't know if I mentioned, so we have about 100 schools so far that have taken us up on the free offer, and not all of those are full schools. So we do have some, like say, for example, like a grade 4 teacher that likes our tools and likes the way we do things, and they sign up just for their class. So you just put, say, the 25 kids in their class on the system. It would still be under the school's name, but you could make it as big or as small as you want. We also cater for home users as well. So we go anywhere from 1 user to thousands of users on one board.
Okay. And one of the questions that's come through, what grades do you cover and what's the lowest grade? The person here asked, do you cover triple R?
Yes. So we actually, globally, the product is aimed at between 2 and 14-year-olds. So we have, like I said, we've got Mini Mash, which is for the much smaller kids. So Mini Mash will cover grade triple R easily. But it really, I find that to be quite a personal challenge for people. So it's a very personal thing talking about using technology for really young kids. So we'll tell you that we do cater for it, but we're not going to tell you have to use it.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great. Okay, so 2 to 14.
Yeah, up to the end of primary school.
Okay. And just another question that came in that I thought was really good, because I know you're an international business. Specifically, does it only come in English, and do you have French curriculum?
So it's we don't have French curriculum. I know that we're working on the French language of Purple Mash. So languages that we're busy working on at the moment is Mandarin and French and Arabic. But we do have Purple Mash in many languages. So we do have an Afrikaans version of Purple Mash that helps. So the Afrikaans version would just be the base language of everything we do, because a lot of what we do is tools. Like I mentioned, we do coding and animation and design. So those don't need specific language. But the base language is in Afrikaans, and we do have it in other languages. I hope that helps. In every single one of the projects, the over 10,000 projects are adaptable for teachers. So you can easily adapt a project into any language you want. You just need a bit of time.
Fantastic.
A few minutes. Not that much time.
We're getting quite a few questions coming through on assignments. So Tim, Megan here asks, how do you receive the work back to assist? Not all parents have printers or computers. Is it available on cell phones, and can people submit content back?
Cool. Yeah, it's a nice loaded question. The thing that most people are using now on Purple Mash is what we call to-dos, and the to-dos are basically tasks or work that you set for your kids. So you would choose anything in the program and set it as a to-do. When you set something as a to-do for a child, they will get a notification in the form of like a little bell alert on the top of the screen to say work has been set. It'll take them to the work. They can work on it. You would have given them a specific time that they would need to hand it in by. If they don't do it in by that time, it becomes unavailable. Once they've completed the work, they hand in the work back to the teacher by clicking hand in. When they hand in the work, they can also leave a voice note for the teacher, which is really awesome. I love that. Or you can leave a little note about how you felt about the project. And then when you've handed it in, the teacher then also gets an alert on their page to say work has been handed in. And then the teacher will then go mark the work. Once they've marked the work, then the child will get an alert to say the work's been marked. So it's very back and forth between the teachers and kids. So we like that. We don't think it should always just be like one-way teaching. So this little banter between teachers and pupils is really cool.
It's good.
Sorry.
I think the kids want that backwards, forwards. They still need it, and that's what they're used to in the classroom. Wayne Sparrow asks a great question here. He says, am I understanding this correctly? Purple Mash is resource-based site activity. It's not online teaching as such. So maybe, Tim, if you just want to address the teaching component.
Yeah, so the teacher will still do the teaching. We have, like I've said, a wide range of resources and activities that will support your teaching. So we do have some content. I think I've mentioned little bits of content to help mostly when it comes to creative writing of projects, just to kind of jog the memory. But the teaching will still come from the teacher. So we aren't teaching anyone. I can give you some advice on who to use for that. But we're not teaching the kids at all. You're using our platform to teach your kids, which is very important because they need to hear your voice and see your face and actually get the content from you. So we have the resources, and we've only really spoken about the resources on the curriculum-based resources. We have a wide range of tools, the technology tools, which is how 2Simple started 20 years ago. So we cover things like coding, design, blogging, emailing, and all of those tools can be used also by a teacher to send out those videos and those messages to the kids to have interaction with the kids.
Okay.
I hope I answered that question.
No, that's fantastic. So I think what you're saying is there are resources, there's videos, there's activities, but at the end of the day, you still want the teacher to be teaching. So they can still create a lesson, but then they can bulk that up with other resources, video, projects, assignments that are already sitting there. So instead of them going to have to look for all of that other stuff, it's sitting and waiting for them.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not trying to take the job away from a single teacher. We're just trying to help them and kind of make their lives easier and maybe a little bit more exciting. I don't know if that's cheeky to say, but we're trying to make things very exciting.
And I think you're right in saying that, because I think there is a big challenge with pupils sitting at home now. They used to being able to see the teacher walking around, asking them questions. So keeping their engagement high, I think, is very key. So if there are rich resources that they can use to help make it more exciting, I think it's going to be more effective and help the teacher be more effective. So that's great. There is a couple of questions coming in on just pricing. I think that's important to know. So someone can use it for free for 2 months. Once that expires and they have to go back to normal class, how much does it cost?
So our pricing, if we work on an average school, so we price per user or per learner. An average school of about 300 kids, we're looking at 60 Rand per child per year, which is about 5 Rand a month per user, which we do like to price ourselves in a good bracket, to make it very affordable. We have an incredible amount of content, so it probably should be more than that, but it's not going to be. So yeah, that's it. It's about 60 Rand per user per year.
And just practically on that, do most of the schools pay that, or do they add that as a fee to the parents' fee? How do they normally handle that extra expense if it's something new?
Everyone's a bit different. We have had some very interesting ways of people paying. So one of our schools, actually in Cape Town, had a thing called a purple, what do they call, I think like a purple mash day or something. Everyone had to come to school wearing something purple, and they had to bring 10 Rand. And that kind of helped towards, paying for purple mash to get started. But we have schools that add it to their LTSM budgets. We have schools that ask the parents for money. It really differs, for everyone.
Okay, brilliant. We had a question that came in from Megan. Do you do FAL and SAL?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's first additional language.
Your guess is as good as mine. I think so.
Yeah. So yes, nothing inside Purple Mash on the tool side is language specific. So if I'm understanding the question correctly,
yes.
So you can use any of our topics or any of our projects and adapt them to any language. So if you wanted to use, for example, like a project of About Me, you could, as a teacher, go into the teachers area and change that to, say, Zulu, for example, and turn it into a Zulu project really, really easily. It'll take you a couple of minutes, and then you could set that as a task for people.
Okay, fantastic. Tim, I think one of the other big questions we actually haven't addressed yet, integration with other platforms, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, what other integrations are available?
Cool. So we have single sign-on for Google and Microsoft. So if you are a Google or Microsoft school and your kids do have email addresses that they use for their usernames, we can do single sign-on for your school. We just have to switch it on. So we do that. And then we do also have a webinar on using Purple Mash with Google Classroom that you could watch. It's basically, it would be exactly the same with Microsoft Teams, which we'll do eventually. It's just taking links from Purple Mash and putting them into your classroom folders in Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. So you would link between the two seamlessly, especially if you have the single sign-on. So the kids are already signed onto the one platform, they just are linking between the two platforms. So it's as easy as that, really.
Brilliant. Tim, also, if I remember correctly, you say you do trainings regularly to help schools. Is that correct?
100%. So we are hosting training sessions. At the moment, we're doing 4 a day. So all of our training sessions have different themes. So let's take, for example, we would do in the morning, we do coding in Purple Mash. So we have a full coding program. So we would teach you how to use Purple Mash for coding, for example. Then we would have a session on Purple Mash and creative writing. So how to use Purple Mash as a creative writing tool. Then we do an admin section. So for admins of schools to learn how to run their Purple Mash platform. Yeah, we do, I think we've got about 15 different topics, and we do them 4 times a day, every single day online.
Brilliant.
So
okay.
yeah, we could share that link and anyone could jump in at any time. We love learning with teachers.
That's brilliant.
And,
what we'll do is we'll make at the end, we'll also, if you are live streaming on YouTube, we will, or off our website, we'll also make those available just below the page. Quick question here from Yaku. I quite like the specifics of this one. Will content for music in preschool be available? And can you give an example of how the presentation can happen for a subject like this?
I have to ask you to repeat the first part of that question because I didn't hear you.
Will content for music in preschool be available?
Yeah, we've got music programs. We've got everything, guys. We do everything.
That solves it.
Yeah, we've got a music toolkit, which is one of our programs. So we do basic sequencing of sounds and music. We have our 2-beat program, which is a nice, easy kind of beat making program for kids. We're busy working on a music program right now called Busy Beats, which I can't give you any more information than that, but it's going to be incredible. So we do have music. It's not the kind of music where we teach a lot of music theory. It's more just music fun and learning about sounds and putting, obviously, sequencing sounds together and making nice music. And all of the music that you make within Purple Mash, just a quick side note, you can use in other parts of Purple Mash. So if you're making, for example, like an animation, if you're going to bring in something like you're going to animate the water cycle, you can then also make music in Purple Mash and bring that in to be the music behind your animation. So we like to bring a lot of different technologies together. So it's not just learning single things at a time. So I get excited about things like that.
That's pretty cool. Okay, Samantha has a question. Are there resources available that is geared towards children in remedial schools?
Yes, we do have a lot of remedial schools that use Purple Mash. I actually see a comment in the comment section from one of them. So you're welcome to use Purple Mash for remedial. It's amazing because the level of everything in Purple Mash, we don't give you specific age groups. We leave it up to the teacher to choose where your kids are in age groups. So you can use it, up to adult remedial if you wanted to, depending on obviously on what remedial we're talking about. So it's incredible. So special education, we cover that too.
Brilliant. One of the questions, I think we've slightly addressed it. Device-wise, can a child, a learner sit at home and use a cell phone?
So we work on all devices. We don't like to say we work perfectly on cell phones, just to be completely honest, because the content of the platform is a lot. There's a lot of stuff on your screen a lot of the time. So especially if we're doing things like coding, we know like when we're doing block coding, for example, there's a lot on the screen. So it's not ideal to use a cell phone, but anything bigger than a cell phone on any device, on any platform, any browser works 100%. And it's all browser based, so there's no app to download.
Okay, brilliant. Question in LTSM can be bought for grade R subsidy funds. Do you know if your program will qualify? So does 2Simple qualify for LTM?
Yes, we have had hundreds of schools use their LTSM budgets for buying Purple Mash. So it's also got to do with a lot of the content that's in it, because like I've mentioned, we also have a library of books. So we have over 100 books with related activities to those books, so that can be used. And it's just, the variety of tools kind of helps with us fitting into LTSM.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tim. Tim, we are out of time. It's amazing seeing some of the other comments just in the chat functionality. Some schools here saying just a big congratulations on your generosity. A couple of people also going that they are users. So it's fantastic seeing some of your clients on here. um, So one of the comments which I enjoy, and maybe I can close and then let you close, is from Crossroads Schools. I just wanted to say thank you, as we would have found the first 3 weeks without Purple Mash very difficult, a very useful and effective tool. So it's great to see all of those questions. A lot of people asked best way to get contact. I am posting here the email address. It is very simply info@2simple.co.za. Info, then the number 2simple.co.za. Tim, any last comments before we close off?
No, well, thanks for coming. I didn't expect so many people to come and kind of look at our mugs for half an hour, but it's awesome that you came. We are happy to help. We really just want to help. So if you want to email me, even email me, Tim@2Simple. We can carry on this conversation. I see there's a lot of comments that we haven't gotten to, so I'm happy to discuss anything with people over email or over the phone.
Fantastic. Tim,
and
thank you.
A lot of what we do. So there's a lot that we haven't spoken about.
Brilliant.
So let's chat about it.
Tim, thank you for everyone listening. Tim is one of our favorite suppliers with 2Simple, so we can really recommend them. We know Tim personally. We also know he's a person that can jump around and help. So if you would like to get hold of their organization, please drop a 2simple.co.za. They can answer your questions. They can get you set up using it pretty quickly. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Tim.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Bye.
Cheers, everybody.